So who you been playing with? What have you been doing?
What have I been doing? It's been let's see. I was out with Chris Potter and Kendrick for a few weeks. That was one of those like
A few
almost
weeks.
every day with no days off. There was at one point it was 9 days in a row in a different city, no days off.
Oh,
I think it was 16 gigs and like 2 days off or something. It was insane.
oh yeah. No, thank you. No,
Yeah,
thank
I
you.
know. That shit is hard to do.
And do you get to the point where every tour I did like that, I would get to the point where I was tired of hearing myself. What's up, Jaleel?
Yo, what's up?
So,
We just we was talking about road life. Brewers all over the place with everybody. And I was about to say, whenever I did a tour like that, I would get to the point where I was tired of hearing myself play. Like I've been taking the same solo for 3 weeks.
I know what you mean. It's
I
easy to
need to
Where,
get
go home
bored.
and get some more stuff.
Oh man.
where,
No, that's-
where are you going, Matt? You going on tour?
Oh no, he was asking what I've been doing, and there
Oh,
was
okay.
just a tour with Chris Potter and Kendrick, and it was
Oh,
like
nice.
every day. It was a long. At one point, there were 9 days in a row with no days off.
Ooh.
Different city.
Yeah, that's what
Like, yeah,
I'm tired
16
just thinking
gigs.
about it.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
good. It always makes you feel strong, but then you want to get home and practice to have something else to say. you know, 'Cause you're like,
Right, right. I'm sure it
Although
was
if
incredible though.
oh, it was fun.
although if I'm honest, if I was able to do that just to do the one thing,
Mm,
other than the hour or two you're on the stage, you could sleep all the rest of the time.
right.
Right? Like get on the train, get on the plane, go to sleep. That might be kind of killing. Now that I'm thinking about it. What you
That's
been up to, Jalil? You where in the world are you?
I'm home. I'm home.
Oh, nice.
I'm in daddy mode. So I've been doing a lot of stuff, uh, just staying home.
Warming up the bottle,
Yeah.
checking it on the
The
back of your
bottle.
hair.
Yep. Yep.
amazing.
Yeah. I've been doing a lot of, more stuff around the city this summer. I got, a couple things. I just came back from Mexico a couple days ago and doing some stuff with Stefan Harris and I'm trying to think who else I'm playing with. Dave Hazeltine next week and just taking stuff around the city and stuff, local stuff. Playing with Bobby Zankel and Philly and doing some stuff. I'm trying to think of. I'm going to Switzerland soon in the fall to do this. They're doing those Miles tributes.
Yeah,
The John Beasley tribute. I'm doing one of those. So yeah,
nice. That's gonna be. Would that be like one of your first times leaving your baby?
Mexico was yeah,
I was
and
emotional, right?
it was deep, man. After a couple of days, it just kind of felt weird. It kind of felt like like it's just a different thing when you when you get used to uh just being around this little human being that kind of depends on you. you
Kind
know
of.
and my wife is here, but also there's this attachment that's just growing rapidly, just being with her. So it's when I'm not with her, or I shouldn't say when I'm not with her, because I go out and I'll go to the supermarket, or I'll do gigs close by, but
Yeah, but
four
that's
days was a lot.
yeah, you're gonna come right back.
Yeah. Yeah, 4 days was like, ooh, this is kind of strange. And then, she's only 5 months now, but she's starting to, like, if I go for the door, she's looking at me now like, what are you doing? So
Yeah,
that
she's
age.
she's definitely the gonna be the boss. That's at least that's been
Hmm.
my thing. Like when my daughter was born, I got two kids. So when my daughter was born, I went right into like this protection mode
Hmm.
because my wife was kind of out of it, and they try to take your baby from we're gonna take them over here for some tests, and I was like, no, you're not. We're going for
Right,
tests.
right,
Uh,
right.
so I had that emotion, but then when my son was born, I don't know if you had this. I was looking at myself. I was crying like a baby. I don't know what happened. And I was like looking at myself like, will you shut up? At first I was like, who's crying? And I was like, oh, that's me. Did you
Right,
have any
right.
emotions? Did it like,
Yeah, it was. I mean, I still, to be honest with you, I still look at her and I'm just like in awe. I'm of course I'm in love with this beautiful baby, but I'm still like, wow, like, this is like, she's here and she looks like both of us. And I'm looking at old, pictures of me when I was a baby and she looks a lot like my wife, but now, as time goes on, she's starting to look more like me. It's
yeah,
just,
every day they change, it seems like.
it's really incredible. It's really incredible. It's been, it's only been 5 months, but it's been a really deep journey. I'm learning a lot about myself too, which I think is I'm thankful for, because there are things that um I haven't considered or been mindful of, especially time. Now I'm still trying to figure out how to manage things, but I'm especially more conscious of how much time I feel like I may have wasted.
Oh
You
my
know.
God. Look, man, people laugh. I wear digital watches and I got into real dad mode. I need that little beep on the hour. I set little 10-minute timers for this because,
Mm.
yeah, your time is not your own. You know,
Hmm.
we're gonna pull Matt in on the schedule. He gonna get on the vibe. He over there practicing, killing, got all these chops. No, you come on over to the dark side, my friend. As soon as you go to sit down and practice, you're gonna sit the baby monitor down, and you usually get a 2-hour nap. So you scheduled it right, and you're gonna grab the bass and the baby monitor. You're gonna be like, "She cool? Okay, cool, yeah. All right, cool, all right." You're gonna get right into it. Right as you get to that moment where you're like, "Oh, I never." Wow. And
Yeah, I can imagine. I bet you
but
learn how to handle your time in a different way though, because I feel like when you don't have kids, it's so, and you have the whole day, it's almost harder to schedule. Like, oh, when do I want to practice? You know what I mean?
well,
When you
you
have those kind of time constraints, you really learn like, all right, I have to do all this right now.
right. And
Yeah, I think that's what I'm thankful for, because it's kind of it's forcing me to micromanage in a way that you know, and I do think that I can find the time. I mean, I'm still trying to figure it out, to be
yeah,
honest with you. But
Mm.
the time is there, but
Sure.
it's not there the way it was before, and I think that's the beauty in it, that I feel as though I'm going to be probably a little bit more focused when I practice now
Yeah,
than I have been in the past.
that's what I imagine.
so what has changed in your music? And if you could go back to your younger self and give them some real advice, young Jaleel, like say, let's give an age on it. College age, like prime, like 17, 18. What would you tell young Jaleel? And what would you tell Matt Brewer now when he's got all this free time and he's gonna have 3 kids or something one day, running crazy?
You know what? I think honestly, and I think this is just me because of where I'm at now, being a father. Although I do feel as though, I'm trying to find the time now. I feel good about how I progressed. I might say write a little bit more, or if there's
Ah,
anything that you want to strengthen, um, do that now. And I say that to my students, like whatever you feel as though, like focus on your weaknesses, but also enjoy your life. And I feel as though you know, I had a good time, and I don't think that I would take any of that away or change that. I probably would write more music, and maybe write for different configurations, write more for different configurations, because that's just a muscle that I want to strengthen. But looking back, and it's funny because people have been asking me that now, like, although I talk about time and not having a lot of it, and I could have practiced more, I could have done whatever more. I don't know. I feel as though what I did then brought me here to where I am now. So I feel
right.
okay about that.
I'd say one thing that I find interesting all of these AI tools that people are discussing, they help me now,
Mm.
right? So like they kind of give back a little bit of the time. The time I would spend maybe writing emails or writing lists or searching for a notebook. Now I got my little systems where everything is digitally searched and I can find that list. And so that 20 minutes that I would look for something, or even with musical things, there's all kind of like, I remember being so shocked to have the amazing slow downer back in the day. Now that's nothing. Like, so you can get to things faster. Do you use
I have
any
to
of
be
that?
honest though, I don't. I mean, with my students, I don't allow it. I don't allow the amazing slow downer because, and in fact, the one thing that I do, if they come in and they slow something down, I can usually tell because
Really?
because once I tell them to play along with the actual recording, they can't do it with the same proficiency that they may have been able to do it if they actually did it with the recording.
That's not fair.
Unless
Jaleel,
they're,
everybody not bad like you, man. Everybody
but
can't. Some people need to slow it down.
I understand. I mean, I understand how that helps, but I think that doing it in real time, because if I mean that amazing slow downer is pretty recent to me. I mean, it's at least maybe 10 years. I mean, and people have been transcribing since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
So I feel as though for me, just like transcribing bird lines and stuff and really getting it from the record and taking the time to play things over and over again, it helped me later on because now when the students bring in a transcription and it's something I haven't transcribed and it's a fast line, I can hear it.
But
And
that's not fair
sometimes,
because I'm on here with two virtuosos,
uh,
right? So like,
no,
no, Jaleel, come on. I met Jaleel. I think you was 14 years old already with the Clef Club, and you, Rick Tate, Daoud, like y'all all was playing songs from the records already. And then Matt, we know about Matt. Matt is like, come on, man.
man, how do
Matt
you
hears
feel
it
about
two
transcription?
times.
Man, I would say like I think I agree with you, Jaleel, that if you're gonna play along with the solo, if you slow it down, I feel like those phrases don't feel right rhythmically if it's slowed down too much. You know what I mean? Like I feel like people chose to play those lines at that tempo, and
For a
that
reason.
doesn't feel quite right if it's not.
Yeah.
But
You
I'm
know,
talking about,
I can understand like if you're like I can't quite hear what that note is, maybe I need to slow it down and get it. But to play along with the like it, you know what I mean? It doesn't have the same rhythmic feel if you slow it down a bunch and then try and play along with it, which I feel like half of
Yeah.
transcribing is just that, like getting inside somebody's time feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I don't use
Yeah.
it for myself really. I
hard.
mean, I love transcribing still, but
Yeah. I
uh,
do too. And I think the thing with me is I started off, in fact, more recently I started transcribing slower solos. But I started
yeah,
off transcribing like fast, cannonball solos and bird solos and Sunny Stitch solos. So I think that helped develop my ear, when it came to fast lines.
mhm.
And I think if I started off, I don't know, having one of those. I mean, and I was literally with a CD player. This wasn't like MP3s. There was nothing like that. There was no
Yeah,
slow downer for the CDs. I had
mhm.
to
Right.
just keep hitting back, you
Right, right,
know, and getting that information. And I think for me, it's so helpful. My students, I shouldn't say all of them, but some of them are not feeling that. But I always show them that I can do it.
right.
I can find, I can hear the line, and I think it helps when you're improvising because really what we're doing is we're playing what we're hearing in real time.
Right.
You know,
But I mean,
Uh,
the amazing thing for me about transcribing is like if you take, I don't know, a John Coltrane solo or something, and you're like considering this phrase that he played, you're like, wow, okay, so that idea was in his imagination. He played it, and now it's in my imagination. You know, it's like such a
right,
direct transference of information and knowledge. It's like reading a book, right? You're like, okay, I can read Shakespeare. I'm reading this beautiful sentence that started in his mind. He put it on a piece of paper. I'm taking it from the paper. Now it's in my mind. Like, that's
right,
incredible.
But like,
yeah,
okay, so I didn't have slow downer either. Um, but I sure wish I would have because when I was making a transition from playing like pop music. Like I came from, I was playing with Patti LaBelle when I met you guys and stuff. Um, and I was trying to understand jazz, getting into it, man. Like, yeah, you'd have to listen to the same thing 1,000 times, like little by little. I think it would have helped. And I
But
think that
also,
started.
Rodney, I also remember you when you came on the scene too. I got to say
Yeah,
that, and you were
everybody remembers
definitely
that.
you
You were,
you were you
Jonathan
were
Blake
in
was
there.
kicking my butt on everything.
oh
I,
man.
I remember you coming on the scene, and you were picking things up quick. And that's for me. I think that's the other thing is like being around other people that are, for like at that time for me being around you and Jonathan and I remember just Calvin Forrest,
Yeah,
Byron Landon. I'm Byron Landon.
yeah.
There were
Rob
so
Landon.
many,
Yep.
and just drummers alone, like all you guys, like everyone was really serious, and um, I think that you were picking things up really fast. That's the
Because I
thing. That's
got
the
on the
first thing when I
bus.
heard, huh?
Man, I'll never forget the first clear memory I have of seeing all you guys was at when Betty Carter came to, was she come to Settlement?
Yeah. I remember
And
that.
I had never seen, picture this, Matt. You think that you're the only one that likes jazz because over in Camden, New Jersey, I kind of was the only one who was like trying to play jazz gigs. And then
Mm.
you get on the bus and you ride for 25 minutes or whatever, and you get to this place and you go in the room and there's like 25 kids that love jazz, know just all the records. I mean, it was like the ones we know about, but Bilal was there, Rick Tate,
Eric Lewis was
Raul.
there, I think.
Yeah, it was like
Yeah.
Jonathan Blake was playing on the drums. He knew all these tunes. I mean, at this point, I couldn't play stablemates. I couldn't understand the form. And you go over and there's like 25, 30 kids that like, wait, what? Where have you been? I want to be with you guys every day. Can I borrow some records? Like, wait, there's a school of you? You guys got a school? Like, I was in shock, man.
I don't remember a time that you weren't killing though, Rodney. That's the thing.
Yeah, Rodney, you
Like,
came in. I can tell you because I remember Rodney came in. You said I was 14, so you must have been 13. You're a year younger than me.
Yeah, I'm 79. So I started coming around.
Yeah,
No, so yeah, 14, 15, I was
yeah,
coming over there. But I
yeah.
was,
And
it
Rodney came in the
was,
scene like this. Rodney
yeah,
came in
like
the
two
scene
years
like
later,
this.
Band in New York came out, right? That's like
Right. How old were you abandoned in New York? You were 18?
was 18.
Yeah, I remember that. Because I
But
was
you
I
know,
was
every
I was
drummer was
holding
talking
on.
about that.
I was holding on for dear life.
no, it didn't sound like it. I didn't sound like it. And the funny thing about that album is when I got that album, I was at Berkeley. I remember it because I wore that album out. I didn't know you were on the record because I wasn't listening. I wasn't checking out all the liner notes for a little
That's the
while.
thing these kids don't do either. They don't even get liner notes anymore.
And then when I looked at the liner notes and I saw it was Rodney, I was like, whoa. So you were what? So you were 18 or
Yeah, I was
18?
about 18 when that happened.
Yeah.
But I always tell the story. How that happened was I remember I learned very early on that one of the big things was relationships. The thing I liked about the crew you were with, Jaleel, was you guys were all friends.
Mhm.
And you guys, you would hang and talk about records and stuff and listen to records and be in classes together, be at with
Kappa.
Lovett Hines, yeah, the Clef
Yeah.
Club and stuff. I didn't
Yeah.
have that kind of thing.
Hmm.
So like kind of in your crew, I felt like Jonathan had that spot of being a drummer. So I said to myself, what if I just go to New York and get there early and I'll kind of be sitting there and I'll kind of, while Jonathan's busy he went to William Patterson, I'll just go straight to New York. So I went straight to New York and I met Glasper, Mike Moreno. I met Marcus Strickland, EJ Strickland, Mark Shim lived down the street. Like I just met all these guys. And
Mhm.
that's how I met. I knew Eric Lewis already because he's from Camden.
Mhm.
And that kind of put me in the seat. So I was like, the same thing you had. All of a sudden, I had people, living with Eric Lewis. He'd come home and be like, "Man, I heard Tane do this thing. Can you do this? You're not swinging, man. Do it again." Waking you up two
Yeah.
in the morning and stuff. Nah, that's the vibe. These kids, they don't have that kind of like intense environment for music anymore.
Hmm.
Are there any advantages that you think the young generation have over us?
There are some. It's hard. It's so hard to judge being from a slightly older generation, but I think we have the advantage of just having a social life was like that's all you had to entertain yourself. You know what I mean? There wasn't like now. If you have social media, that's kind of a reasonable facsimile of interaction and social life. Like I think people don't interact in the same way. There's not the the desire to go out and actually be with people like there
Hmm.
was.
Right.
And I feel like for us, that's all we had, and
Yeah.
that's maybe the that's definitely one of the biggest contributing factors for me improving. Is like exactly what you're talking about. Because I remember when I went to Grammy Band, I was 17 or something, and then it was like me. I met Aaron Parks and Ambrose and Obed and Tim Green, like Charles Altura, all these
Right.
cats that to me were like they already sounded so incredible, and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing here, you know. But
Hmm.
that's kind of the impetus to make you that forces you to grow. Is
All
that kind
right.
of social
But
cohesion and community.
you know what I don't hear about? Do kids still do sessions? Because that's how we met, right, Matt? At a
Yeah, I
Juilliard.
think. I mean, yeah, I feel like that's how my whole career got started. It's playing sessions at Juilliard. Somebody invited you, I think, to come to Juilliard, and then you called me for one of your gigs, and Osby was on that, and then I started
Yep.
touring, and that was like directly
Mm.
how I started having any gigs at all.
I
Um,
remember Osby kept turning around. Osby was playing, and he kept turning around and looking like, "Who's what?" Okay, that was fun.
I know. I was like, "Am I getting vibed?" I don't know.
No, he was like, "What is he doing? Is he
I
really
was, I
playing?"
was like, man, I thought I sounded like shit. I was like, man, I'm playing terrible. And then
No, that was
immediately after the gig, he gave me a card. He's like, yeah, I have a tour in Europe coming up. Like, give me a call. And I was like, what?
that's the vibe. I don't see that. I've been making the analogy recently that music is getting like basketball. Everybody in basketball now is like second generation. You got to have money to go to all these camps. You got to get the trainers and stuff and all this stuff so early. Do you guys think that music is going to be accessible in the next 5 to 10 years?
I think it's
Mm.
more and more accessible in a way, but I feel like there was something that really works with the old model is that like when you were young, you kind of had to be accepted by an elder. Like somebody kind of had to vouch for you and say like, "Hey, come join my band," and then people would see like, "Oh, okay, he's playing with so and so. That must mean he can play." And then you kind of work your way
Hmm.
up in that
Yeah.
way. And now it feels like in some respect like younger people just want to be killing and do their own thing immediately and then post all their shit on Instagram and then that's you know not that the
Yeah.
old model doesn't exist anymore, but I feel like that level of oh an older cat called me so I have some credibility and and that's gonna help me get some gigs like
Yeah, yeah. I'm says that how many people are involved in music that don't, or particularly improvisational or jazz. I don't want to argue the term,
right.
but how many people are involved in this music who don't seem to like it? Like you get in their car and it's like you're occupying this space like at a club or something or what have you. But when I get in your car and drive with you, you got on like Led Zeppelin or some folk stuff, or it's like you don't play jazz in your house ever. Do you guys still listen to jazz, or what do you checking out? What do you think about that situation?
Absolutely. I mean, I just love music, periods. I mean, I have a really wide selection of stuff that I'll be checking out at any given time. But I love jazz so much. I mean, or whatever you want to
Yeah.
call it. That's always a huge part of my listening for sure. I feel
Yeah.
bad for. Oh, go ahead.
No, no. Go ahead.
I could say sometimes with my students, I can't. That's what's really weird to me sometimes. I'm like, I can't tell if all of them really love jazz. And then, I mean, I think most of them do, but every once in a while you're like, man, it's going to be very difficult for you to, I don't know why you would spend money going to school and then spend all this time getting a degree if you're not really into it, you know? Um,
And it's
so,
super expensive.
yeah,
God.
but
I think
Oh,
the one thing
yeah.
that I think about a lot is I think about just when I first moved to uh, the city, or even before then, because I remember coming down to hang with you and Bilal when you and Bilal were roommates, and I
That was a
remember
fun
going down
time.
there. I remember taking the bus down and hanging. I remember sleeping on y'all floor, and we would go to Smalls and be at Smalls till like 4 or 5 in the morning, go to Zinc Bar. And when I finally moved, I was going to Zinc Bar and I was going to Up and Over every week, every
Yeah,
Monday.
the up over.
Yep,
Oh,
I would be there every Monday. I would go to I'll go to Up and Over first, then I'll go to Zinc Bar till like 4 or 5 in the morning, or I'll go to Smalls. But the one thing I do know is that it wasn't just about like networking; it was also about like the masters were there. I would walk into the Zinc. I remember going to the Zinc Bar one time to see Tame, and Kenny Garrett had come to sit in,
yeah.
and Tame was like, "Oh, Jalil's here," and I had my horn, but I wasn't thinking I was going to go sit in and play next to Kenny Garrett. Stuff like that. I feel as though it doesn't happen like it used to, or going to Smalls and Roy being there, or going to the Zinc Bar,
Mhm.
and I could go to the Zinc Bar, and I feel like the whole scene would literally be there,
Yeah.
and we would
But you
hang
know,
and we would talk.
but you just said something interesting. What knocks me out is there'll be a great young saxophone player, and I'll be like, man, come sit in. And they'll tell me I don't have my horn.
Oh, right, right,
And back in the day, any of the cats, I mean, if we was
yeah,
going to the basketball game, somebody would have their horn with them. Like, I
yeah,
don't understand. What do you mean you don't have your horn? Like,
yeah. Well,
yeah,
I feel like that has changed with what Matt was saying. A lot of younger players they want to play their own music, and they're doing performances, and they have a set in mind, and I feel like it's just a different culture now. Like things have changed in that sense where, yeah, every gig but that's also from Philly. I remember in Philly, I couldn't go anywhere without my horn, you know, and when I was younger in New York, it was like that. But as I got older, I actually don't bring my horn, that much either, because I feel
because
as
now
though,
they got to pay you, Jaleel. I ain't mad at you.
nah.
Jaleel's like, listen, babe,
you
listen,
paid some
hey,
dues
listen,
at this
call my
point.
people, man. I'm not just walking around with the horn no more.
But still, I don't see, young musicians with horns either. And every
There's been,
once in a while, someone will come to my gig. I'll see somebody with a horn, and I'll say, hey, come up. But
but
not
that's
everyone does that.
but that's our thing. Like, especially from Philly, Mickey Roker and them guys would always let you play. But I'll see somebody who I like. They came to see me because I invited them. Hey man, I
Yeah,
got a gig at such and such, so and so. Come check it out, blah blah blah. And they come, and I say, hey man, come up. You gonna play on this tune with us? And they say, I don't have my horn. And I'm like, what did you think we was doing? Like, what did you
yeah,
think this exercise was about? Like,
yeah. Well, I think sometimes maybe the younger musicians feel like they're imposing, and they don't want to do that. Because I feel like the vibe has changed in that
yeah,
sense. I don't see young musicians at anyone's. I mean, I feel as though I'm actually starting to have a little reputation for bringing younger musicians up. So at my gigs, I do see young musicians with their horns. Sometimes there's too many, so many
yeah.
that I
You're
can't
like, can
invite
I play
people
my
up.
stuff? Can I play one set first?
But I do, I do bring people up. But for the most part, I don't always see young musicians with their horns. And I do encourage it with my students. I say, take your horn everywhere you go.
Yeah,
You never know when you get that opportunity.
especially an instrument like a horn or even a bass for that matter. The instrument is complete. So like, if you're waiting for the bus, if you're in a park somewhere and nobody's around, you can get, we were talking about time in the beginning of this, you can get 20, 30 minutes of shedding, some scales or whatever. With the drums, it's more weird to do something like that. But if I had a horn, especially if I played the trumpet or something, really compact, like, man, why wouldn't you have it with you everywhere? It's little, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm curious to get to business because I know everybody's busy. What are we gonna play, fellas? What should we do?
Yeah, that's a good
Matt.
question. Well, Jaleel, you got some good music that works trio.
Yeah, I have some tunes that we could bring in. I mean, you got some great tunes too, Matt, and you too, Rodney. Well, I
Yeah,
think we
I'm
should.
down to send some music and some
Yeah,
recordings. You know what
yeah.
I
Do the
thought?
same. Yeah.
What I thought might be interesting to do. I was curious to see how you felt about it. We were talking about that band in New York material,
Mm.
and I haven't played most of that stuff since then.
Mm.
It might be fun to kind of revisit some of that stuff so I can get a second shot, second bite at the apple.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Those
yeah,
tunes are so great. I still kind
yeah,
of know some of those, I think.
Yeah, like because Bigfoot is on there,
yeah,
52nd
yeah,
Street thing. It's like simple stuff, but then we could stretch.
yeah,
You know.
yeah,
Even
yeah.
13th Floor. That's a bad tune.
Oh yeah, yeah. So some of that might be kind
It's-
of cool.
That's great. With 13th floor, that's Monk, right?
No, that's an Osby tune, but
Oh, it's the Osby tune. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. You might have
You
to
ever
send me a chart for that one. Maybe I ask Osby if I can get the chart.
you ever hear that record? Because another sound that I like to get kind of mental models of like what we could do, like a starting point. You ever hear that record Triplicate? I think it's
Of course.
yeah. They play
That
some
Take the
stick.
Coltrane on there is so killing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's like we could start there with some stuff.
I actually just did a tour with Dave last year, trio. I did a couple trio gigs with them. One was with Harlan and one was with Nasheed. And we played some of those tunes. So
I
yeah,
haven't
we can,
seen either one of those guys. Man,
yeah.
speaking about early times, Nasheet Waits and Eric McPherson used to have Westbeth Space. I
Yeah,
think
Yeah.
they.
there's in there a lot. I remember that.
I think after Sandy, something happened and they might have
They got
moved.
flooded. Yeah, they moved it.
Do they have it back now, or did they just move
Yeah,
it?
yeah. He has it back in another place. We just played. I had a rehearsal with him recently. And
Man, they
it was
used
the
to
best
take
spot.
me in there and just drums for like hours
Oh
straight.
wow,
And then we would go and get some lunch and come back. They would just beat me up with
wow.
just drums.
That's great, man.
That would listen,
That's
that stuff like that doesn't happen. I remember the
yeah.
first time it happened, I like walked into the room and they had another guy with them. I can't remember his name, but they had like 4 drum sets in the room. And it was like a ritual or like some kind of ceremony that happened. Cause once we walked in the room, we was all talking normal. And then once we got in the room, Nasheet was like, he said to Eric, like, what's up, G? What's up? And they sat down and we didn't talk for like an hour.
Wow, that's incredible, man. I would like to hear that.
But yeah, anyway, that thought came to my mind. But yeah, so we could get some lists together, play some tunes. I'm sure it's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to that. Thank you guys
Yeah,
for
me
being able
too.
to do this. Because you
Yeah,
haven't even
definitely.
been to the spot, right?
Who me?
Yeah.
No. The funny thing is, my wife and I like this Italian restaurant down the street from you.
Oh, Benny's place.
Something Tuscany.
Yeah, Tuscany. Yeah.
Yeah. So we go to that spot.
Oh, that's cold blooded.
We haven't been there in a minute, but well, when we went there, you were closed. Either you were closed or it was things must have been. I didn't see anyone was playing in there,
Okay.
and we just went by. But we just went home.
You know when
But,
we are playing? On the 23rd. I think that's the
Right.
date, right? 23rd.
No, it's the 30th, isn't it?
The 30th, yeah.
Yeah. So don't scare me, man.
No, listen, man. My stuff is so listen, it's so wild. And then talking about staying out till 4 a.m, I did that Rocky thing the other night at the Blue Note, and we walked out of the door at 6 a.m.
Rocky thing. What was that?
I played ASAP Rocky's. I did the his after party.
Oh, really?
His band, Dave.
He was at the Blue
Chappelle.
Note?
Yeah, Dave Chappelle hosted.
Wow.
what's the Whalum? His band played.
Kenneth Whalum.
Yeah, his band played before us, and then we played with ASAP. We played some tunes, and then we played with ASAP. And Dave
Oh
was
wow,
kind of hosting. It was fun.
nice,
It
Amazing.
was really fun, but it was like
nice.
really disorganized and hurry up and wait. And
Mm.
Rodney, can you get these samples together and put them in your pad? And oh no,
Oh,
no,
you're playing a pad.
yeah, I played drums and sample. Like it was a mess,
Wow, I would like to hear that though.
I
but it
know
was
that's
cool.
deep. Well, how was Dave? Was he cool?
Wait, you're breaking up. Wait, say that again.
It's like I'm such a huge fan.
No, say that again. I'm sorry, we
Oh,
missed.
internet connection is unstable.
I
Oh,
can
I
hear
can
you
hear
now.
you now though.
Okay, I'm just asking how Dave Chappelle was. I'm such a huge fan. I wanted to.
Oh, so what was interesting about that
I've
was like,
never met him.
oh, so I met him a couple times. I hung out with him and Glasper. Um, and he's kind of just like he is on the show. Like
Yeah,
that was the thing I took from him, that in this day and age, the arts and music is so fragile. Like, you're teaching these kids, some of these kids are so fragile. Some of the older musicians' egos are so fragile. And when I was watching him, he came in, I didn't know he was hosting. And when he came in, he had a couple drinks and he's telling jokes, but because it's not a forum where he was announced to be there, it was kind of like not apologetic, but it kind of like he was really reading the audience and looking to like
Mm.
which jokes work and stuff like that. The vulnerability was incredible.
yeah,
Yeah.
That's what I was struck by, and that's what I've seen a lot from him, because he's constantly working on material. He's a lot like a jazz musician, like a real improvising jazz musician, that he's like, let me see if this works. Let me push that
Hmm.
button, see if that works. And you got a bag of tricks, you got a bunch of topics or whatever. Um, and the other thing is he really loves music. I forget that. He played a little piano.
right.
He knew what each instrument was called. He could use the terms. All right, break it down. All right, let's go back to the bridge. Like, and he knew what was happening, which was really cool.
Mm.
That's kind of part of his comedy, like just as much as the storytelling thing is, part of his thing is working with a live band.
Mm.
So that was really, really cool. He's wild.
Yeah, amazing. It's amazing.
That's right.
Yeah, he was super wild. Well, thank you, fellas. This is
Yeah.
gonna be
Thank you,
awesome.
man.
We'll text
Looking
and get
forward
some
to it.
material. And even
Okay.
if we don't, it's gonna be
Yeah, it's gonna be
Great. I'm
fun.
looking
Call
forward
it.
to it.
Yeah.
thank you, fellas. Really appreciate you.
All
And
right.
really great to see you.
Likewise.
Congratulations, Jaleel. I gotta say,
Thank you.
Yeah,
This is
congrats
one-
again, Jaleel.
Thank
one
you.
of the
Thank
most
you.
amazing things. I will not lie and say it will be easy, but it will definitely be worth it.
Yes. Yeah. It's definitely worth it. Definitely
Yeah.
worth it. And it's definitely, I'm already seeing that it's not always easy, especially with scheduling between, me and my wife, and, making sure we get things done, our personal things done. It's been a challenge, but it's all worth it. And it's beautiful. Just having this little girl, every morning, sometimes I wake up and I'm not in the best mood, but she forces joy.
Yeah.
And
She
I'm
wakes
gonna
up
tell
and
you,
she's smiling and kicking and always happy to be, awake and alive. So I appreciate that.
I'm gonna tell you a thing that my wife was genius enough to understand, and I thought she was crazy. She said, if we're gonna have another one, we should do it soon.
Mm,
And I was kind of like, another one? I can't deal with this. And that's how it feels.
mhm.
But now, as they're 6 and 3, they play with each other. They
Right,
kind of
right.
watch each other and they work with each other. So like, whereas now we would just have a 6-year-old that was always around us,
Mhm.
she can go in another room and play with her brother and
Right.
kind of
Yeah.
watch it. So it's kind of, I know it might seem like the craziest thing to say now because you're like,
It
wait,
sure does.
one more of these?
It sure does.
But it does kind of average out. And I went to the other extreme. I really wanted one more,
Wow.
but we too old. So I gave up on that. But yeah. Okay, fellas.
All right, man.
Thank you so much. Great to see you.
Likewise.
Really looking forward to this.
Indeed.
Likewise. We'll have a good time.
All right.
All right, later on.
All right. Take care.